Dolphins fans. I don't know what to say. Well, I know some things to say. Game's been over for a few hours. We lost 28-27. Man, that one hurt. And I mean, so I'm going to try to sort through this a little bit. I guess the first place to start is just looking at the stats and what happened. So that's what we're going to do before I get into talking about how I feel about all this. um, it wasn't what I was expecting in a strange way. Honestly, I really, 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 really thought that I. Man, this is hard. I'm trying not to be just yelling and screaming at the top of my lungs like I'm sure a lot of you Dolphins fans are wanting to be doing right now. Um, let's start with the stats. Like I said, let's just go through this. Uh, Offense scored 27 points. It's more than we scored all year. I will say that our offense looked good. A little rusty with Tua. He had a few plays that I'm sure he wants back that I would like him to have back. You know, lost a few balls on the snap. Obviously, the safety for 2 points. But he finished 28 of 38 with a 73.5% completion percentage, 234 yards and a touchdown. The QBR he had was a 103.18, which was higher than his first game by a couple points. He played pretty well. Not too upset with that at all. Can't be. I mean, offense looked good. Things they were doing things they haven't been doing all year. Tua even had a couple rushes, one good rush, and he slid at the end of it. I was so happy he slid because for a brief second there I thought, oh man, here comes that lower your shoulder and lead with your head thing, but he didn't do that. He did well. Miss me with the Tua lost the game for us thing with the safety, okay? I'll continue going through these stats, but let me just say this real quick. Tua gave up a safety for 2 points. Our offense gave up 26 points. 26 points. 21 of those points they gave up in the second half. Our offense wasn't the problem. And our offense didn't lose the game for us. They kept us in this game. Devin Achane, 10 carries for 97 yards. And that's a 9.7 yards per carry average. Fantastic. Raheem Mostert, 9 carries for 19 yards. Not a really great average, but he did have 2 touchdowns. And that was good. No fumbles, obviously, from the running backs. Tyreek Hill, 6 catches for 72 yards. Jalen Waddle, 4 catches for 45. They both had over 10 yards average per catch. Ingold, 3 catches for 19. Achane had 6 catches for 50. Achane had a great game. I gotta give it to him. He had a great game. Had the one touchdown catch too. Mostert had a catch for 11. Eskridge even had a catch for 6 yards. And Eskridge breathed. I'm shocked. I did not like D. Eskridge. I thought he was kind of a waste. But he did well today especially on special teams. I was impressed with D. Eskridge. Jonnu Smith, 4 catches for 20 yards. Tua was spreading it around. He threw the ball to, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 receivers. I can't even complain about Tua. Can't complain about the offense. They played well. On top of that, the passing, they had a great rushing yard game. Let's see. Rushing yards. I think they had 150 rushing yards. 150 rushing yards, 227 passing yards, 377 total. It's a little low than what we were used to from 2023, but our offense played well. Can't give them too much crap there. 22 first downs, had the ball for 30 minutes and 52 seconds. It's great. It's a good game by offense. No turnovers. Big deal. 6 yards per play. Not bad. 64 total yards. And our return yards, we had 60 return yards. That wasn't bad at all. I mean, a good game from the offense and special teams. We made our field goals. Awesome. Can't complain there. So I'm going through all this stuff, and you're thinking, oh, Dirk. I'm Dirk. Uh, why are you saying everything was good? I'm not saying everything was good. We're going to get to that. Let's get to our defense. Offense wasn't the problem. For the first time, our problems today was our defense. And I'll be more specific. There are two areas on our defense where I thought we had major issues. I'm sure you can guess, It was our secondary and it was our pressure on the quarterback. Our pressure on Kyler Murray was pathetic. Now I realize for a lot of this game, they were doing something where they hold their spots and they don't put a lot of pressure. They keep their spots in it and get their hands up because Kyler is a very small quarterback. He's diminutive. And I'm not saying that to insult him in any way, but when you pile up a bunch of 6'5" dudes around him and you put your hands up, it's really hard for him to see. Now that would have worked, assuming you could eventually get to him. Could not get to Kyler Murray to save our lives. He had all the time in the world to throw the ball. And when you expect your secondary to hang out and guard receivers for that long, 6, 7, 8 seconds, you got to be joking me. The best team in the league in secondary coverage could not do that. So you're setting them up for failure with the pressure that we were getting. Could not get pressure. Meanwhile, in the secondary, we had some of the stupidest matchups in the world that I've ever seen. Just Jalen Ramsey had a terrible game today. Got beat a bunch of times. Jordan Poyer played terribly. Cam Smith, they kept putting Cam Smith on Marvin Harrison Jr., and I could not figure out why they were doing that. They should have rotated that out, put somebody else on Marvin Harrison, somebody bigger, like Jalen Ramsey. Why was Cam Smith covering Marvin Harrison Jr. the entire game? I don't get it. I just don't understand. So the Cardinals offense, they had 307 passing yards and two players that had over 100 yards catching. It was ridiculous. Only 82 yards rushing for the Cardinals. Our defense did well stopping the run. You can't ask for much better than that, especially with the kind of running back they have, who played great. Still, didn't have a huge game because the Dolphins were stopping the run. But Kyler Murray, 26 of 36 for 307 yards and 2 touchdowns. That equals out to a 125 QBR. Unreal. James Conner was 20 carries for 53 yards. That was their leading rusher. Trey Benson had 10 yards on 1 carry. Kyler Murray had 20 yards on 5. So you're looking at that. That's not bad stopping the rush. But receiving, oh my goodness, just could not stop the pass. Kyler Murray had tons of time. And when you give a quarterback like him tons of time to run around the backfield and wait for the open man, eventually receivers are going to get open no matter how well you cover them. When you're letting them run around for 7, 8, 9 seconds to get open, eventually someone's going to find a spot. Someone's going to find a hole in zone. Someone's going to bust loose on man coverage. Someone's going to get open. And that's what happened. Michael Wilson, 5 catches for 31 yards. James Conner, 2 catches for 16. Elijah Higgins, 2 catches for 13. Marvin Harrison Jr., 6 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. Trey McBride, 9 catches for 124 yards. Unreal. You can't let that happen. Our defense lost us this game. And this is the first time this year where I can look at the defense and say, wow, we lost because of the defense. And if you're saying that Tua lost the game because of his safety, what really lost that game? 2-point safety? And getting the ball back to the Cardinals after the safety when they didn't do anything anyway. So a 2-point safety, or giving up 21 points in the second half to the Cardinals offense. I think that it's the 21 points that lost us the game, guys. So just miss me with the whole Tua lost the game. Tua and the offense are the reason we were even in this game and had the lead for most of it, because they played well. They didn't play perfect, but they played well. Tua was a little rusty here and there, had a couple iffy passes, but had some great passes too. And I'm not the Tua-neer. I'm not going to sit here and just blow sunshine up Tua's butt because he's Tua. I'm just saying he had a pretty good game, especially for missing, 5 weeks. So That is what it is. Our defense lost us this game. That's just, there's no way around that, guys. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this score and I just cannot believe we lost that game. It's terrible. Anyway, I wanted to cover the coaching too real quick. I really feel like in this game, for the first time in the year, Anthony Weaver just didn't make the adjustments that needed to be made. He didn't take advantage of the matchups that he could have had, and there was nothing that changed in the second half. The Cardinals just moved up and down the field as much as they wanted. It seemed like there was nothing we could do to stop them. And at that point, you have to be willing to try different things to make the difference. Anthony Weaver didn't do it this week. However, the first part of the season until now, our defense has been the only reason we've been in games. So it's hard for me to sit here and say, blow the defense up, sell everyone. I can't, because this is the first time this has happened with our defense. We'll see how they rebound. We've got the Bills next week, and that's going to be an interesting game. I don't think that we're going to win, but it would be nice if we did. Mike McDaniel, aside from maybe 10% of the plays that he called, the rest, 90% of the game, I'd say he called a great game. He even won a challenge for like the first time ever. He won a challenge. They spotted us short on a third down run or a third down pass play, and it was obvious that we got the first down, but the refs weren't going to change it. So he threw the flag, got the challenge, and we won it. We got our timeout back. It was well done by Mike McDaniel. And for the most part, I'm going to say, if our head coach calls the offensive plays and he calls 90% of the plays exactly how I would have done it, and I'm not even a pro, I'm just saying, if I have no issues with the play calls for 90% of it, I'm not the person that's going to sit there and say, because of the 10% of plays that he had that I didn't like, I'm not going to say, oh, he had a terrible game calling plays. Not going to do it. Mike McDaniel's play calling wasn't the reason we lost this game. It was the defense. We could not stop Kyler Murray. We could not stop Marvin Harrison. We could not stop that passing game. So, relatively clean game on penalties. We didn't have very many. It was a pretty clean game on both sides. We didn't get one sack. Or no, we did get one sack. One sack on Kyler Murray. Unreal. Need more pressure. But that is what it is. So now we move on. We are sitting at 2-5 for the season. 2-5, fellas and little ladies and gentlemen. And I know this isn't what anybody wants as a Dolphins fan to see. Nobody wants to see 2-5. But here we are looking at it. Now, this is the crazy part. I can't believe this. This is just unreal looking at our standings. The Bills are 6-2. They won today. They beat Seattle handily. I think it was 31-10. I can't remember for sure though. The Patriots beat the Jets. Oh my goodness. If the Dolphins would have won today, I would have been so happy. Now we're sitting at second place. The Dolphins at 2-5. Second place at 2-5. Freaking crazy. So second place at 2-5 for Miami. The Patriots have overtaken the Jets. They're sitting at 2-6, and they have the tiebreaker over the Jets because they've won. Well, I'm not sure exactly what it is. Maybe points for and points against, but the Patriots beat the Jets today. They split their series between the Jets, one apiece, and the Patriots end up getting the tiebreaker. They're 2-6, and the Jets are 2-6 as well, but the Jets are in fourth place. So in our AFC East rankings, it's Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. Good game for the Patriots, man. Way to step up and beat that team. I think it was 26-22. Something like that. Pretty close game, but Patriots pulled it out. Richie with Jets Media is over there just screaming into his computer. I feel bad for the man. We're having a hard time too, so I'm not going to pick on him at all. It is what it is. I really feel bad for him. It's a crazy season, everybody. Crazy season. So with that said, and with the fact that the Dolphins are 2-5. It could still be so much worse. We have two other teams in our division that are 2-6, and looking at the AFC as a whole, we're still not out of this. This is not something that's undoable to get into a playoff spot. Is it going to be difficult? Yeah, because we have like a 5 or 6% chance of making the playoffs. I know I'm usually a pretty optimistic guy, and I'm trying to give you guys reasons to be hopeful and excited. And at this point, I honestly can't say that that I can see us making the playoffs. I can't say that I see us having a 10-win season, which is what I would think we would need to make the playoffs. We'll get into more of this during the week as we get closer to the Bills game. What do I think needs to happen? I want to see our defense bounce back for the next game. I want to see I want to see what happens in that Bills game. That Bills game is going to be, now that this happened, that takes us to the point where if we lose that game, we'll be 2-6, and at 2-6, our season will be over. Something needs to happen now, and it just sucks that our next game is against Buffalo, because now we're going to have to beat Buffalo to have any hope of continuing this season for our playoffs. And I don't even know if making the playoffs means that we're going to be in a position to win a playoff game. I will say that I like that our running game has come around and has been doing well. And I like how our offense played today. And maybe that's the beginning of something good, but our defense needs to step it back up a little bit. So we'll see. I'm not going to let this ruin my day, and you, as a Dolphins fan, you shouldn't let it ruin your day either. And you Jets fans, don't let the Jets loss ruin your day either. You know, you still got it's a beautiful Sunday somewhere. You know, enjoy yourselves. You got family, you got friends, you got homes, places to sleep. Enjoy the things that are good in your life, and don't let football ruin it. It is a bummer. I mean, I'm as hardcore of a Dolphins fan as it gets, but I refuse to let one game ruin my entire day. And I hope that you guys can do the same. Stay positive. But as we talk about this next few things here, let's just relax. You're not going to see me screaming at the computer to fire everyone. I'm not going to do that. I think that if we lose the Bills game going to 2-6, I think that there needs to be some players that we need to go ahead and let go of in preparation for not necessarily a full rebuild, but a partial rebuild in some ways. I think that, I think right now, I think before the night's over, I think Chris Greer should be fired. I think we need a new GM immediately. Even if we don't have somebody to plug in to GM right now, I think we need to go ahead and get rid of Chris Greer and let somebody else come in and make the decision on when we're going to sell and what we're going to sell as the trade deadline approaches. I think that, there's going to be some players that we might want to go ahead and let go for some draft picks. And I think this is going to be a good draft pick this year. Not for tanking, but for maybe getting a few extra draft picks for offensive line, defensive line, and maybe a backup quarterback. Somebody with some promise. Take a quarterback in the first 2 or 3 rounds. See what happens. And then spend the rest on linemen. That's it. That's what we need. We do that, and things might be a little better here. Other than that, I don't really think anything else should happen. I think Mike Greer needs to be fired, like I said, like right now, like yesterday. I'm going to hold off on my thought. I wouldn't be disappointed if Mike McDaniel gave up play calling. However, with the way he called the plays this game, I'm not going to hate too much on that right now if that doesn't happen. I do not think that we need to fire Mike McDaniel right now. And that might be unpopular with some of you Dolphins fans who think we need to fire the coach and fire the GM and everything else. I do think the GM needs to be fired, but not the coach right now. I don't think this is the time for that. I think that in the offseason, if our new GM decides that he wants a different coach, I think that's his prerogative. But for now, I don't think that's necessary. Some players, we could probably afford to get rid of some of those ones with those higher paychecks that are up there in age. If you want to get rid of some of them, that's a natural progression, and that might happen. But I think that we just need to see some adjustments on defense from this game. And our defense needs to go back to playing the way they did. They could not stop the pass today, and it hurt. So, that said, that's where we're at. I'm not one of the party to burn everything down and tank. I'll never be a part of that group that says, oh, let's tank for so and so, Shadur Sanders, whatever. I'm not about that. I think tanking is wrong. So I want our team to win every game that we play every week. So we got Buffalo this week coming up. I want them to win. Do I want to be 3-5? No, I don't. But I'd rather be 3-5 than 2-6. That's it. I'm a Dolphins fan. I want our team to win. I want them to succeed. I don't want them to fail. I don't think Tua is a terrible quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. I think we can win with Tua. I think the way our offense played today was good. We scored more points than we have all season. And I think it's something to build on with the offense. I like our run game. I love the way our running has been. It's been nice to see. Our passing game was good today. Not fantastic, but good. Tua was a little rusty, but he played well. You don't believe me? Look at the stats. I mean, it speaks for itself. So, if you disagree with me, feel free to comment. If you agree with me, feel free to comment. Let's talk about things. Let's discuss stuff in the comment section. That's why I'm here. I enjoy talking about the Miami Dolphins. I enjoy this little endeavor I've been doing with YouTube, and I'm noticing that there's starting to be more comments and likes as we get moving. Been kind of slow to start, so I'm happy. I'm having a good time doing it. I want to keep doing it, and I want you guys to engage, to comment, to tell me what you guys think. I want to know. I'm not a hater. I want to know what you guys think about all this and what you think should happen. Even if it is the exact opposite of what I think, let's talk about it. But anyway, it's Sunday. It's the day before my birthday, and I feel the need to go eat some food and sit on the couch and relax and watch some teams play football that isn't the Dolphins. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe if you can, and share my channel if you get a chance to share it with another Dolphins fan or somebody. If you're a Jets fan or a Patriots fan or a Bills fan, you stumbled in here to check it out. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I don't think you got any threats from us right now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good evening.